Hey there, and good morning. Out here doing the morning watering for the garden. It's kind of nice to get out here, especially on a really nice spring day like this, although I hear some rain is coming. Today, I know it's been a while, and I'll probably put out a whole nother video about this channel. I do that now and then. But today I'm going to talk about one of the main reasons why I'm always talking about being prepared and thinking about what you're doing, where you're going, and about yourself and your own limitations. Because today we're going to talk about search and rescue and the kinds of things surrounded by that whole topic. So here we go. So, to me, it should be kind of obvious. You prepare yourself for trips to lessen the need for search and rescue, and to assure that you have yourself a good time, right? But then we still get reports like this one I'm going to show you here. This is a inexperienced, I've redacted the name because I'm not here to shame anybody. It's not my goal. We'll talk a little bit about that later. But this is an inexperienced hiker who just decided, I'm going to go into the wilderness, because the White Mountains aren't some just hang around quick little hill path just for the heck of it. The White Mountains are some serious stuff, real wilderness. Watering my artichokes. Not bad, huh? A couple of these are going to be dinner tonight because they are ready. Anyway, but he decided to just wander into the White Mountains, but apparently without checking what the weather was going to be like, and not having the proper equipment for the mountains themselves, let alone the mountains in the wintertime type of weather full of snow. So off he goes. Now, he apparently compounded his unpreparedness by soon thereafter being on the trail and realizing, hey, the weather's crazy and I don't really have the gear for this. And here are these other hikers on the trail, maybe more experienced hikers. I have no idea who they were and all that kind of stuff. But these other hikers on the trail were turning back and saying, nah, it's not worth going up there with this kind of weather. And so they turned back. He decided to keep on going until he got himself in a position that he was in trouble. Fortunately, the one decision that he did make was that he had something with him that allowed him to communicate with search and rescue. He was able to get help, call for help. They came, they pulled him off the mountain. So that's a good thing. That's at least one good decision that this person made, was having the proper equipment to get help when he needs it out there, and he obviously needed it. But his major mistake was he wasn't prepared. And then his other mistake is, once out there and realizing I'm not prepared for this, not turning around when he had an opportunity to and just getting off the trail. I am an avid hiker. For those of you who have been on this channel for a while, you know I've been doing it since my teen years in 1980. So it's been decades that I've been hiking and backpacking and camping and all that kind of stuff. I absolutely love it. It's an amazing pastime for me, even now that I'm 60 years old. Yep, I'm 60 years old. How do you like that? It's an amazing thing. I love it. There is no amount of hiking or special trail that is worth risking my life for, I would not do it. If the weather is literally trying to kill me, I'm going to get off the trail. And I have enough experience to know that I'm going to prep. But see, that's the thing, is I'm experienced enough, and I harp on it enough on this channel about being prepared, that I would have done the research. We live in a world now where it's simple to just check what the weather's going to be in such and such area. Oh, it's going to be, oh, wow, they're expecting this many inches of snow with wind up to this. I'm not going to go hiking this weekend. Or I'm going to go hiking in this place this weekend instead of where I wanted to in this area. Again, to me, that seems like common sense. To some people, it doesn't. Now, the next thing to consider would be, maybe you're a thrill seeker and your own well-being isn't your top priority. So, I'm just going to go out there. Well, then you're a selfish person, because it's not just you that you're affecting. When, like this person, what we just discovered, when you get yourself in trouble and you call for help, someone's got to come out there and help you. And despite all of their training, and search and rescue is trained very well, the real legitimate groups and things like that, they know what they're doing, high trained and stuff like that. But that does not mean it's a walk in the park for them. They are working hard, and they are putting themselves in danger to come get you. So think about that when you decide you're not being prepared and you just go charging on out there. You're making that decision for other people eventually. If you get yourself in a position where you have to call for help, that help is going to come, but that help is risking themselves for you. And that's where we start getting into the debates of, in order to help this happen less, should we be charging people for search and rescue? Should we be shaming people who make completely stupid decisions, negligent decisions, level decisions, and go out when they aren't prepared to go out there and things like that? Should we be doing that? And things like that. And that's a rock and a hard place, because a lot of the arguments against it are basically, well, that just means that people who could be rescued by search and rescue, if they called for help, would be less likely to call for help, because the human capacity to fight being embarrassed quite often overrides your real danger and self-preservation modes and things like that. So people would be less likely to call for help if they think, this is going to cost me a shitload of money, I'm going to just try and get out of this myself, or I'm going to be so embarrassed, so I'm going to try and go a little further, and that little further is what kills you, and things like that, because otherwise they're going to make fun of me and embarrass me in the press when they say how stupid I was and things like that. It's tough, because I'm on one side, I've got this two-handed argument. On one hand, you should be an adult and just understand that, yeah, they're going to make you look stupid. You know why? Because you were stupid, and you have to accept that fact. You have to understand that, yeah, I screwed up, and now I got to take my lumps. Be a grown-up, and don't whine about, oh, you're triggering me, all that kind of stuff. No, be a grown-up and accept the fact that I effed up, and other people are going to tell others that I effed up. That's just the way it is. On the other hand, though, I get it. Like I say, the human capacity I don't want to be ridiculed. I don't want to make myself look even worse than I already feel, can easily override some people's self-preservation and feeling for danger. So yeah, there is. I'm not going to solve that problem, because it's not my job to solve that problem. Whether we should, come down on people who do these kind of things. But yeah, the debate is there, and I see both sides of it. The point really should be try and prevent getting in that position by not being dumb. And it's so easy in this day and age to not be dumb. It's so easy to make sure you have the right gear, There's video after video on it. I've even done a few videos on, essential things to make sure you always have in your pack with you, no matter where you go. And then there's, specific places. If you're going into cold weather, here's what you need to have. If you're going to water areas, here's what you need. Desert, this, that. There's information is out there. It is absolutely out there, and you could access it like that, just like you can a weather report. What kind of weather am I going to be looking at when I go there? Oh, how am I going to tell? I mean, I started backpacking in the 1980s, and it wasn't that easy. You had to know really where to look and what phone to call. You had to make phone calls to see what we are looking at the weather in certain such area. Nowadays, I do it in 10 seconds on my phone. Bam, what's the weather? Oh, cool. It's going to be near such and such town, so let's type in that town, and they're looking at, oh, here's the 5-day forecast. It's that easy. So that means it's that less of an excuse for, I didn't really check to see what I was looking at when I hiked into it. You know what I mean? So, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. That's why I harp on the being prepared, because it's not just about you. Even look at this clip. You could be with a group of people, but what if you're with a group of people who are idiots and maybe not such a good friends as you think they are, and you're the slow one, and they decide, you're cramping our style. So they just leave you behind, and then they wait by the car and you don't show up because you got injured or something happened, and you got off trail or something like that, medical problem. Because, I did plenty, the vast majority of the first, probably 6-7 years of my backpacking experience was group hiking. We would go up as a group of friends. I learned at a environmental education summer camp, and that was you were there with a whole group of people and things like that. And that's where I learned that you're not there to speed run. If you want to speed run, that's a whole different type of backpacking, and you don't do it in a group. You were there to enjoy things and even be part of a social group even while you're out there. So, pardon me while I move my hose while I'm soaking my tea plants. That's where I learned that you're not in a race, and the slowest person in the group is the one you put in the front to set the pace. And people don't pass the slowest person. And if that's not going to work for you, don't be in that group. I hate to sound like a jerk, but that's just how it is. But that's how you should handle that. But really, in a nutshell, hopefully I've made my point. That's why so many things I talk about on this channel end up just leading back to being prepared, prepping yourself, because that's what keeps people from getting hurt, and that's what keeps you from endangering the people who have to come out to rescue those who have been hurt. So let's just kind of take that to heart. That's all I can say. And it is. That's part of it is I understand that in some ways I'm kind of preaching to the choir. The people who really get that do all those things. They prep. And I get it. I really love, there were times in my life where it's like, life is just getting me down. I need to get out into the mountains, especially when I was younger. College pressure and stuff. If my friends weren't available and stuff, I always had a pack ready to go. I would grab it, put the food I needed in it, and head on up, and I'd do a weekend solo. You can still do that and still be prepared. Like I said, I made sure I had specific essential things always ready to go in the pack, and then I, through experience, knew what kind of food to put in that pack for how many days I was going to go to. And back then it was even harder, but I knew the numbers to call to figure out, hey, what's the weather going to be? Ooh, that doesn't sound too good. That's not going to be fun. So how about the weather in such and such? Ooh, that does sound good. Okay, and that would get in my head. All right, that's where I'm going to go then, because they're going to have good weather this weekend. Off I go. Nowadays it's even easier than that. You can still be spontaneous and still take the 15 seconds it takes to figure out what the weather is going to be and the conditions that are going on up there. It's just that easy. So that's why I harp on it, and I'll probably do it again, and that's just the way it goes. Until then, any questions and comments, as usual, you can get a hold of me at hikingforhealthca@gmail.com. You can comment down below, any of those kinds of things. Hopefully you guys are having a good spring, as we're just starting here. When I'm recording this, it's a few days after the first day of spring, and we're having a good time. Although I hear we have some rain coming next week. And I'll be doing another video about why I'm not doing a whole lot of stuff on this channel and how much longer this channel is going to last, because I honestly don't know. And I'm going to put the question to you guys in another video. So there you go. And I will catch you next time.